Buying a monitor today can feel like learning a new language. There's so much tech and new terminology, it's hard to keep up. 20 years ago, it was easy, you just needed to get this big boy and you were all set. But these days, you've got panels like LCD, OLED, LED, IPS, TN, QLED, VA, and more. It's getting confusing. You might be wondering, what makes all of these so different and which one do I even need? And when someone says something like, check this full array IPS LCD with local dimming, what does that even mean? Makes you want to open up your wizard encyclopedia. Forget about the encyclopedia. I'll help you understand these three things. 1. How each monitor works and how to categorize them. 2. What's so different about these monitors, what's the same, and what's better. And most importantly, 3. Which monitor should you get? Here are all the panel terms you'll hear today. It looks complicated, but don't worry, it's all about to become crystal clear. Hey, stop thinking about magic, we're talking about pixels here, not imaginary gemstones. Anyways, all these fancy terms can be condensed into two main types, LCD and OLED. Let's start with LCD, liquid crystal display. Every LCD panel has 4 key parts: a backlight, polarizers, liquid crystals, and a color filter. The backlight determines how bright and color accurate your visuals will be. They could be fluorescent bulbs, standard LEDs, full array LEDs, LEDs with a quantum dot layer, or mini LEDs. Basically, the stronger the backlight, the easier it is for you to binge watch your series without dozing off and missing all the good stuff. The job of the polarizer is to block that light from showing on the screen. So when you have a dark scene, you get a dark black. Here's a quick example of how polarizers work. One vertical and one horizontal. They do a great job, but not perfect. So some light will always come through on LCD monitors, even in black images. Then you have the RGB filter, covering every pixel. Each pixel is made out of 3 subpixels, red, green, and blue. And by adjusting each one's brightness, the screen can produce millions of colors. A standard 4K TV has 8.3 million of these pixels. The most important part in an LCD unit is the liquid crystals, which are on every subpixel. Now here is where the magic begins. The liquid crystals twist and untwist and bend the light around the polarizer so that it only shows the brightness and color desired for that pixel. It can twist so that it provides anywhere between 0 and 100% of the light on that specific subpixel. It's basically doing gymnastics for its entire life. So for example, maximum power on all the red, green, and blue subpixels will give you white again, while 0% red, 50% green, 100% blue will get you this color. There are many types of LCDs, each with strengths and weaknesses. The 3 most common are VA, TN, and IPS. And here is where they're different. 1. How much of the backlight can they manage to get through the polarizer? 2. How much of the backlight can they block at rest? And 3. How fast can they rotate from one position to the other? 4. How accurate are their movements to produce vibrant, colorful pixels? And 5. How are they impacted by viewing them from an angle? Now let's see how each of these panels compare in these metrics, starting with maximum brightness. Crucial to be high in bright rooms. TN performs the weakest, VA lands in the middle, and IPS comes out on top. Then black levels. This metric becomes important in darker rooms. TN does terribly. VA shows its strength here, while IPS falls in between. But when it comes to response times, TN finally gets its chance to shine, ranging between 1 and 3 milliseconds, while VA and IPS fall behind and can have a bit more ghosting, especially when gaming on high hertz. Basically, TN lets you camp, peek, get your headshot, camp again, while VA and IPS are still trying to show you the next frame. When it comes to color production, TN tanks heavily, only producing around 60 to 75% of the color spectrum. VA is decent, while IPS delivers up to 99%. This metric matters most for watching movies, pro photo/video editing, and cinematic gaming. And the last metric, viewing angles. This is important in wide rooms, watching movies across different sofas. TN is garbage. VA does okay, while IPS is the clear winner. Now that you know how LCD panels work, you can mix and match between the backlights and the liquid crystal types to achieve the performance and price you're looking for. The better the backlight system, the more expensive, but the better color accuracy and brightness. Tech is quickly shifting to QLED and mini LED backlights. TN panels are falling off quickly because they're losing in most of the spec battles, and also because they don't benefit as much from the new modern backlights, making VA the most popular option for dark room movies and gaming, and IPS the more premium option for bright rooms gaming/movies, as well as work/productivity. But we're not done yet. LCD monitors and TVs are great, but how do they compare to OLEDs? Now, OLED TVs work a bit differently from LCDs. LCD panels rely on the backlight that is always on because it's nearly impossible to mass-produce LEDs the size of a single pixel. But OLED panels found their way around this problem. They don't even use LEDs, but instead they use tiny organic materials that glow and can turn on and off when powered at a sub-pixel level. This means OLED can achieve perfect blacks. When it's off, darker than your pitch black coffee before pulling an all-nighter. But even OLEDs have seen quite a few upgrades. They first evolved into PM OLED for small screens and AM OLED for large ones. But AM OLED is now quickly taking over even small screens and is becoming the overall leader because it has improved resolution, refresh rates, it's longer lasting, and applicable on larger screens too. The downside of using these organic materials is that they degrade faster and aren't as bright as LEDs. To address this issue, companies have been developing new innovations, and some manufacturers branched AM OLED out into WOLED, which adds a white pixel to the standard RGB, and QD OLED, which uses blue OLEDs and then quantum dots to convert the light to red and green. Next up came MLA technology, which uses insane micro lenses per pixel to focus the light. This way, not only is it as dark as black coffee, it gets the caffeine boost for brightness and vibrance too. One thing about OLEDs to keep in mind is that they have something called burn-in. This happens when static elements like taskbars, hoods, wallpapers stay on screen for long periods of time, so they like to hold on to the good old days a bit too much. That being said, most OLEDs are handling this problem well. So OLEDs are overall better than most LCDs. But mini LED LCDs are slowly catching up and are at a lower price range. Let's see how OLED compares to LCD. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. OLED beats all the monitors in all play fields except for maximum brightness. So you're now an expert, but even experts can get confused. So let's find out which screen is right for you. Regardless whether it's a TV or monitor, most people fall into one of these four categories. 1. Movies and streaming. Let's follow the chart. Consider your room lighting. If you're in a bright room, then IPS mini LEDs and QD OLED will be what you need. Now, if your room is dark, you need to think about your budget. If you want premium, then get the WOLED or QD OLED with no further questions. But if you're on a budget, then you need to think if it's just you watching or a wide group. If it's just you, get a VA, otherwise get IPS. Okay, if you're into gaming, this chart's for you. If you can afford an OLED monitor, then get that. Otherwise, IPS and VA mini LEDs will do the job. What about TN? Well, if you're a super gaming junkie looking for that 0.5% improvement over your competition at the expense of good visuals, then sure, TN works. 3. Work. Very similar to gaming, you just need to take OLED burning into consideration, especially when working on spreadsheets and coding. And if you're sensitive, text on OLED may have a very subtle unwanted effect. Otherwise, the chart remains the same. OLED is the best, but VA and IPS will last longer. And if you want a premium all-rounder, OLED is the way to go. But for a budget-friendly option, IPS and VA work fine. Okay, you're now a genius in TVs and monitors and you know which panel you prefer. If you've chosen OLED, lucky you, this video's been waiting for you. So pick your pixels wisely and I'll see you there.